All right. Hello and welcome to Tuesdays with Tuesdays, where relationships rule. Okay, you gonna dance with me? Sure. Tuesdays with Tuesday. Tuesdays with Tuesday. I love people who just join in. We gonna do something.
Can we dance? Just kidding.
Who is that? What's that name?
Okay, now you dating me.
I'm sorry. Well, anyway, this is attorney Jennifer.
Norton.
What is Norton?
Norton.
Mm-hmm. Norton. Okay, so how long have you been an attorney?
14 years.
14 years, and your primary area of practice
is estate planning. So whether it's wills, trusts, powers of attorney, strategic Medicaid qualification, guardianships, and probate, everything.
What? Strategic
Medicaid. So you don't have to spend down all your assets in order to get qualified for Medicaid. You need to get strategically qualified with someone like me.
I didn't even know such a thing existed.
Yeah, and especially in our community, in the African American community, a lot of attorneys will have us blow through our assets. And blow through, I mean by maybe paying the nursing home, paying for at-home care, or paying for any type of service provider, but you essentially run out of money, spend down, and then of course you can easily walk on to Medicaid because you have no money.
Wow.
No, I'll get you qualified with money.
Wow, that's good to know. See, that wasn't even a part of today's sharing.
Sometimes it just comes out.
It just comes out, and it's necessary. And, this Tuesdays with Tuesday is for everybody.
That's right.
But there are things that, unfortunately, are concealed intentionally or unintentionally from certain communities.
Absolutely.
And because we don't, and a lot of times our communities, sometimes less educated, or those who don't have the means to go and find out, or don't even know that they need to find out.
Or we don't want to talk about money. So
we don't want to talk about money, and we don't want to talk about death.
And we don't want to talk about death. So guess what? We're stuck.
We're stuck.
Yeah.
To the fault sometimes of our own. This is why God said we perish for lack of knowledge.
That's right.
Yeah, we do. So this is me. Yeah. So call me, Dr. Tuesday, at 317-820-1089. And at the top of the show, we're going to give you Jennifer's information and at the back end. So share with our people how to get in touch with you.
You can find me on all forms of social media, Jen, the Legacy Strategist. Or you can call our office, 317-572-8696.
What's the name of your practice?
Norton Estate Planning and Elder Law Firm. So we get both ends. Whether it's an elder law issue, which people associate with Medicaid or powers of attorney, or if it's an estate planning issue where people typically associate with wills and trusts, doesn't matter.
We do it all. This whole conversation today was going to be about how to protect your property, and that's for everybody. And I want you to touch on that. But I'm feeling led to stick with this senior care piece.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like that's what the Lord wants me to do.
I mean, when it comes to property, property is a big issue or a big asset in our community in general, and any community essentially. The house is the home. And so when it comes to aging, people want to age in place. And so there are strategies that you can employ when it comes to your home ownership and how you title it, how you can put beneficiaries, what the ownership looks like on your real estate, and be able to proactively protect those assets. So it all goes together, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just about timing. And sometimes what happens is we wait too late. So we run out of money, we run out of options, we feel like, and then we want to call the attorney to kind of pull a rabbit out of a hat, which sometimes we can do, but most times we cannot. And so being proactive and having, platforms like this where you're explaining to people, if you have a loved one that's aging, or, you think that the care will become costly or expensive, and the house is a major asset, then you need to be calling someone like me immediately so that we can strategize.
So let's talk about that. So aging parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, who's ever caring for you, and you're the one that's going to step in to help care for them. I had a conversation with a sister realtor earlier today, and we were talking about how we both have clients who are seniors and their houses are falling apart. And they've never taken the equity out of their home to fix up their home, to make it it can sell now, and it'll sell to an investor for double less or 3 times less than what they could have gotten had they kept the home up.
Yeah.
And getting that message out to them, your home is paid for. Pull the equity out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fix it up. But now we're selling it for $85,000 when we could be selling it for $185,000.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Matter of fact, I think today one of my clients who is settling the estate of one of their deceased loved ones, you know, they get the letter in the mail. Hey, I'm an investor. I'd love to buy your property. And I was like, yeah, we're not selling to them. They can get in line and put their bid in on the open market so we can get max dollar. But you're correct, especially with like Medicaid, you know, they have some exemptions when it comes to the house. So when you're married, of course, if you're you have someone who's known as the community spouse, someone who's going to stay in the home versus the institutional spouse who either is going into a traditional Medicaid situation or nursing home situation, or Indiana has what's called Medicaid waiver. They're staying in the home but receiving Medicaid. Then the home is considered an exempt asset. So when you're married...
Wait a minute. Say this again. Come on now.
The home is considered an exempt asset for when you're applying for Medicaid. And when you're married in particular, we can keep the home. And when you're trying to qualify for Medicaid, they do take the marital assets of both the husband and the wife or the spouses, and, you know, in this day and age, whoever married, the couple, and they add them together and then they cut them in half. And basically, whatever that half is,
my God,
you can, subject to a minimum to max. So there's a minimum that they'll say, oh, if you have $25,000 or less when you cut it, then you just keep it all. If it's over like 300, and I'm just going to make it easy, 300,000, then you can only keep the 300,000 and the rest has to be spent down. But if you're in the middle, when you take the assets, cut them in half, and you're in the middle, then you get to keep half and the other half has to be spent down. One of the strategies that you may employ if you do have a mortgage or a loan on the property is, because the house is exempt, maybe we take some of that money that has to be spent down and we renovate the home.
Yes.
Or we pay down the mortgage because we're putting money into an asset that's exempt. And then once our spouse is qualified, guess what? Then we can sell the home, get all the money, and keep it rather than have to spend it down. So so keeping the house, especially when you're married.
I'm weird. I'm not weird. I'm peculiar. When God starts moving, I get tingles. And my head itches. And people that really, it's great. It's really strange. But people that know me, particularly at church, they be like, God's speaking. Yeah, he is. I itch. That is so... It makes me almost tearful because I know so many people that this knowledge can help. Please tag, share, and invite someone when you're listening to this. You who you know, your mom, your dad, they have a house. They have a house. I tell people all the time, you are living potentially under your wealth.
That's absolutely.
You're walking into it every day. You're sleeping under the roof.
Yes.
And we're not using it.
Yeah. The other thing that's going to trip people out is there's also what's called a caregiver exception. So for our single people or our surviving spouses, widow or widowers, when a house is still exempt if you intend to return to it. But most time when you're single, you're going to a nursing home or you're not intending to return to it. So of course that makes it non-exempt. But they do have a caregiver exception. So a lot of times, especially this day and age, a lot of the children are helping and moving into the homes to take care of their parents or their loved ones. And if it's a child, it has to be a child, then as long as they've lived in the house at least 2 years prior to applying for Medicaid, we can exempt the home again. So if you're proactive...
Let me say that. Let me say it. I just stuttered. Y'all know I don't stutter. Okay, so are you saying that, and when you say child, you mean me. I'm an adult child.
If you're taking care of your mother.
Taking care of my father. And I move in 2 years before they apply for Medicaid.
The house.
In some way, I have to prove that.
The doctor, you get a doctor's note. So the doctor just puts on a note, says, but for Dr. Tuesday Tate moving in this house, your father would have been on Medicaid sooner. That's it. So you always want to have a relationship with the doctor.
Please have a relationship.
Please have a relationship with the doctor. And then...
Stop going to emergency care.
And then the other thing you can do too is start documenting. So we did have a client call. Father is well, driving, doing all kinds of good things. So he's not eligible for Medicaid. To be eligible for Medicaid, you have to be unable to do 2 activities of daily living, right? So like eating, bathing, transference, using the bathroom, etc. Go look it up. But you have to not be able to do 2. So when this person called my office, we're probably going to do all that. So he's not eligible, but she sees that the potential is there, the decline. Yeah. And this person in particular is in a situation where she can start to be in the home, if you will. So because her residence is not permanent. So why don't we start putting the bill in our name over there? Why don't we start filing our taxes? I still claim my parents' personal residence as mine until my house is finished. So God forbid they were getting sick, I'm going to keep that my personal residence. You know what I mean? If I knew that they
strategy. You're a strategist.
The legal strategist. The legacy strategist. That's me.
That's you.
So you're strategizing and you call us beforehand so we can develop these plans.
When's the time? Like this person called you beforehand.
Yeah.
Kudos. But most of us wouldn't know. Most of us are in it before we think to call you, if we think to call you at all.
So think when they're thinking about starting to take away the keys.
To drive.
Why are you starting to take away the keys to drive? Because I'm concerned. Oh, you're concerned about what? You know what I mean?
That's good.
So if you feel like you have to start taking away the keys, or you feel like maybe I should get a copy of the statements, and maybe I should be added to his account, or which I don't like, but maybe I should have access to his accounts just to make sure. That's when you start calling us so we can be strategizing. That's good. What's the plan?
When you start seeing a change in your pain. They're tripping too much. They're falling too much. Which means their muscles are getting weak or they're forgetting things more than normal. That's really good.
That's you can call. The other time you can call me is, say we have like a family that has only one child. Clearly they're going to be the beneficiary of everything. Yeah. But people say, well, my child is doing well. I just want to leave them in the house. Well, there are strategies. One, you can put their name on the deed with you, which a lot of folks don't like to do because then they have to get permission to sell it. If they have a divorce or some type of judgment and then they do sell in the future, guess whose judgments and stuff gets attached to that property. Yeah. So it's like, that's not a good option for some people. Now, some people, if you do an assessment of your children and you're fine, because a lot of people say, well, they're doing better than I am. Okay, fine. It's all goal driven. But imagine you could put them as, there's this thing called a life estate deed, where you can own your property during your life and say I'm your child, but then it says at your death it comes to me. Well, there's also a deed called a transfer on death deed, a beneficiary deed, so that if you did a beneficiary deed, if you died, then I'm the beneficiary. I don't have to go through probate. I just go to the recorder's office.
So let's say that one slow, because I'm in this situation right now with the client. I'm the parent. Yep. You're the child. Go. Say it again.
So you did a deed.
I did a deed.
That says I'm the beneficiary upon your death. You have to record that deed prior to your death for it to be valid. Okay. So when you die, all I have to do is go to the recorder's office and fill out an affidavit that says, pursuant to that deed, you said I'm the beneficiary. I'm here. My mom died. Transfer the property to me with no probate.
No probate.
No probate. Now, the great thing about that deed is the beneficiary, I have no rights to your property while you're alive. I'm just a beneficiary, like life insurance. When your death occurs, that's the only time. And then during life, if you wanted to change it, so say you got mad at me and you wanted to put a different...
Would never happen, but yeah.
Right, of course, would never happen. But if you decided that you wanted to get a different beneficiary or have someone else appointed, you could easily just update the deed and put someone else on it.
Yeah.
Now, a life estate deed is different because in the beneficiary deed, I don't have any rights until your death. If you do a life estate deed, I have rights the minute the deed is recorded.
Okay.
And so the great thing...
It better be a child that you really trust.
There you go. And the great thing about that is, though, if, say, 10 years from now, you needed to qualify for Medicaid, Medicaid can't force me to give up my rights in your property.
That's good.
So it too can be a strategy to protect the house. If you still want to claim it as your homestead, you want to still be in charge. The only difference is if you try to go sell that property during your life, and say you were in your 90s and you died at 100, the minute you died at 100, whoever you sold that property to, I get it back. Yes. So they only have the property for the duration of your life if you try to sell that deed. But So that's the downside. Nobody wants to buy that property, but that's the point of Medicaid, because nobody wants to buy it and you can't force me to sell it. Guess what they have to do? Exempt it. So that is a strategy.
There's a strategy that whoever buys it should probably be somebody in the fam.
It can, as long as it's fair market value, it could be someone in the fam. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you really don't want to sell it if you're qualified for Medicaid, because then that's cash we have to spend down. But if it was a non-Medicaid situation, then yeah, you could sell it to somebody in the family. Because then
this is so. I didn't know, guys. I know you're like, whoo, that's a lot. I didn't know this is what she was going to come and share.
I didn't know either. You didn't give me no question. You just said we gonna come talk.
I did. It was all about protecting your property. But this is kind of what we're talking about.
We are talking about it, yeah.
But it's more geared towards, these who are seniors.
Yeah.
What other types of advice or 5 things that you would either tell, and maybe it's a 2-part question, me as the caring child for my parent, and then for my parent, what would you tell them?
So to protect your property, I think, one of the things I'm a big fan of is be careful just selling to people. You know what I mean? Like, one of my big things is make sure you're at least at a minimum involving a title company, because you don't want to inherit something or find out later the deal was all wrong and you did stuff backwards. And so one of the top things, if you are going to just do it yourself, like, because these people, this is the world we live in. Yeah. Everybody can go to the internet, think they can research it, and you can be your own whatever it is. But one of the things you can't and should not ever, when it comes to property, get rid of or disregard is your title company, because they're going to make sure your interest is right. They're going to make sure your money's right. They're going to make sure all the
title's clear.
The title's clear. Having the realtor is great too, because you're checking all those other things, like we're doing the inspection, so we're making sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. When you're a caregiver and it comes to the property, I think the main thing is, knowing that there are resources out there to help you with your leveling, like SECOA, so the Central Indiana Coalition on Aging, has a bunch of services. So if you needed ramps or repairs or food, Meals on Wheels and things of that nature, there are so many different organizations that can support you as you support them. And then there's stuff for you too. So as a caregiver, you can be compensated, which is a way to help protect mom's money. We'd rather give it to you than give it to someone else. Yes. There's respite, so day adult services, so people can come in so that you can go do the groceries, go to a spa, and just kind of relax. And then for the senior, of course, if it's a senior, then there's all kinds of patient advocates. So if you're having trouble understanding what's going on, then you have some nurses that can come in and be like intermediaries and translate, and they can help navigate and run the healthcare system for you when you're dealing with your parent. And then it just depends on whatever the ailment is. There's so many services.
I think a lot of times people don't even know, or maybe it's so overwhelming, like where to start. Yeah.
And SECOA is a great one. So CICOA, Central Indiana Coalition on Aging.
And there's a place,
whole website. Yeah. Oh yeah. Almost every state has some type of aging.
That's right.
Organization, 501(c) that can help. And so contacting them is a great resource, and they'll put you in contact with people like me, attorneys if you need attorneys, and then of course all the other service providers and resource providers when it comes to, especially your home and home repair. They have a ton of free stuff. So the older you get, so when you're talking about your client needing to repair the home, depending on the age of your client, you don't use your money first.
Right.
There's a lot of grants and service providers that will do it for free or low cost.
Look at that.
And then you go to mom and dad's money to then do the real expensive ones.
That is so good to know. I didn't know that's what SECOA offered, those types of
all the time.
Know that.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? I need us to come on up.
Yeah.
Because Jennifer then came on through.
I'm trying. And then you got the Marion County. So there's MCO. It's like Marion County Coalition on Aging too. They're as well for Marion County. And so they're on Facebook too. So you just go find both of those.
Yeah. And wherever you live, wherever you're watching from, I have thousands of followers.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
So, wherever you live, go look this up. Whoever does something on aging. and you know who in your family is more resourceful,
there you go,
and accountable and responsible. It may not always be the oldest child.
That's right.
So if you're listening as the parent, identify that person in your family. I recently had a parent. They have 6 children, and everyone kind of had a responsibility, but there was one child that didn't. And they just wanted to put them on there with a responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm like, they don't care.
Yeah.
Your son does not care. He just wants to make sure you're taken care of. But as that parent, well, I don't want him to feel like I left
but keep him out of the way. Then you're adding more signatures, more hoops. As long as, when as an estate planning attorney, the biggest thing or biggest advice I could give for you, the best advice would be to make sure you're having family meetings to talk about kind of what the plan is. I always say, whoever you believe will start the trouble, cause the trouble, you are absolutely correct. That is the person that's going to give us all that drama. And so having these discussions earlier, involving the parties that need to know, like your financial advisor, your CPA. I've had clients that say, if I died, you use my realtor. Like, I literally have that in a plan right now where we have to use this person's realtor, which is fine. I don't care. But essentially, you want everyone to know what the plan is. And I think more often than not, most people have no plan.
They have no plan. And they believe that the plan is getting the person that can do the plan is so expensive, or the cost is going to be so astronomical. Besides the other things we said, they don't want to talk about money or death. It's like, that's going to be too expensive.
It is expensive after you die. It's less expensive. It's, all they say, the money's in the cure. I mean, in the prevention, not in the cure. So what you want to do is...
It's costly. It's very costly.
Yeah, because everything's everywhere. So most people don't know what you own, where is it, what to do with it, let alone how to pay for it, because you haven't organized yourself. Can you really even find your own stuff is the question. Most of the time people come to me and they can't even find their stuff, but you think your children going to find it. Yeah. And so if you can organize yourself today, where are your assets, where's everything at, and then have the family meeting, it's less expensive because we're not, the house isn't on fire. We're not running around trying to get stuff, and you want it done tomorrow, versus when you're proactive, okay, we can take our time, we can settle in. And most estate planning attorneys, like myself, are flat fees. So we're not after the billable hour month. So some of your older school attorneys are billable hour models, but you just have to be, if you come in organized and say, okay, I need this done by this, you know what I mean? Then you can get it done faster.
That's the challenge. Getting organized to come. Just to sit down and do it. And do it while mom or dad or whoever that is able to participate in that conversation.
Yes, because they're the boss and everybody will listen to them. And if you feel like you really need to record it. Like I said, but having that conversation now, today, it pays dividends. And it's nowhere near as expensive as you think. And then some firms like myself, we do payment plans. So just get it done.
Get it done.
Just get it done.
Let's say it together. Get it done. Okay. This was amazing.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad you reached out. Hey, I was going to make sure I was here. I'm on my way.
She did. She thought, she thought it was a different time. And she got here too. So
I'm coming. You tell me there, I'm going to be there.
I appreciate you so much. This was more than I could have asked for, specifically because of the conversation I had this morning.
Well,
and we were
supposed to happen.
Yeah, it was supposed to happen. We were really like, how do we help our seniors? And one of the things we were saying, like, how to get people out to get this information. I have seminars. 5 people show up, 10 people show up, 20. That's great. But there are hundreds of people that need help. Whether you are ready to buy, sell, build, that would be business for me. That's great. But ultimately, I know my assignment in the earth as a minister of the gospel is to help people. So whether I'm helping you get the information and access to the resources, or I'm helping you buy, helping you build, helping you sell, all that's great. I know what my assignment is.
Right, and it works. It all works together.
It all works together for good. Because if this isn't the opportunity that brings a client, your child now sees that I'm here to help their mom or their dad, and they're like, I'm looking to do X, Y, and Z.
There are a lot of people, and you'll see if you visit my page online and my Google reviews, I give away a lot of free information. And some of the people are never my clients, but guess what they are? They are definitely my cheers. They go on and they refer and they send the people that really do need my services. Right. So it's okay to help people just to be helping people.
That's right.
And
it will always come back.
It always pays dividends and comes back, you know? So, because there are a lot of people, they'll say, oh, such and such refer me. I know them, but they're not my client. But it's okay. Come on in.
They may be one day, but right now you are.
Right now we need you.
So this was wonderful. Thank you so much,
Thank
Jennifer.
you for having me.
This was like a treasure.
Yeah. Anytime you want me to come back, happy to come. You tell me what you want me to talk about, and I'll come.
Yeah, I'm going to have you at a seminar. We have
anytime.
to get the people out there. We
yes,
got to get you guys to come. So if you are listening to this, please tag, share, and invite someone to listen to it. Stay connected to the channel on YouTube, my Facebook page. We are sharing valuable information.
Yes.
So let me put my pitch out there. Okay, I'm Dr. Tuesday with ATK Realty, Advance the Kingdom Realty, where happy and home meet, brokered by Coldwell, Banker-Kaiser.
I like that.
I know.
That's creative. I like that.
He's so good. So, listen, if you are looking to buy, build, sell, lease, you need a commercial property, get in touch with me. I would welcome serving you with, I pray, always a spirit of excellence. Thank you so much, Miss Jennifer Norton.
Thank you for having me.
Give us your information again.
Yes, I'm Jennifer Norton, Norton Estate Planning and Elder Law Firm here in Indianapolis, Indiana. But we're on all forms of social media as The Legacy Strategist or Jen_The Legacy Strategist on TikTok. But 317-572-8696.
Excellent. You can reach me at atkrealty@gmail.com, 317-820-1089. I believe in partnerships. I believe in relationships. In every area of your life, relationships rule. Absolutely. And yes, even in real estate. Thank you so much for joining us. See you later.